Hello, City. Hello, world. And welcome to another installation of the Gospel Jazz Connection. We're here, made it to another week. We're listening to some music, smooth jazz by Kerry Sims. And that's off of his latest album, self-titled, self-made and self-disciplined. Enter Thoughts. That's what it is, Intimate Thoughts. All right, and I hope you've been doing that this week. It's beautiful outside in the City of Angels. You're here with the Gospel Jazz Connection and the team. So, what do? Each and every week, we bring up situations and problems and a little of everything you might have wanted to talk about but didn't know who to talk with or didn't know what to say or how to express it. Well, we bring it to the forefront. We play some smooth jazz underneath, and we mix it with a panel of beautiful women that kind of answer these questions for you in their own opinion. So you can just hear the way they put it down. And each of my panelists, man, we have searched high and low. I've been blessed to get them. We've shipped them in specially just for this show each and every week, the Gospel Jazz Connection. So what we need you to do, as you hear the smooth jazz in the background, you know they say, hey, music soothes the savage beast. Well, let's just breathe, relax. It's Friday, it's all over. The weekend is upon us. So for the next hour with the Gospel Jazz Connection, sit back, relax, and watch with your ears. That sounds so smooth. Those are Intimate Thoughts from Kerry Sims. And this first young lady we're bringing to your screen has been with us for a long time. This young lady has been a part of the business world where she was running top companies, banks and things. You know, when they're messing with the money in the top end like her, you know she got to know what she's doing, because you don't play with people's money nowadays. But she was able to be a good keeper in the business world, and then she went from that to use the gifts that God gave her to become a trainer, corporate trainer. She's a motivational speaker. She's a best-selling author. One of her biggest books, it will be hard to eclipse that one, but I know she's got another one coming that will. Loving yourself first. It's a woman's guide. You hear that, guys? So if you want the answers on how women can catch up with you and how you can catch up with them and make it right, then let them love themselves first. And Linda's going to show you how. So we'll make sure that we pitch the book so that everybody that hasn't read it gets a chance to read it. It's chock full of knowledge. She's here with us today to add some of her knowledge to the Gospel Jazz Connection. She's a mother. She's a grandmother. And I got a chance to be with her early today when we went and did a site survey. And she's getting ready to celebrate a bunch of years of marriage. How many years, Linda?
5.
20. Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, when have you seen anything last for 25 years? That's a quarter century. But a marriage nowadays, in today's world, lasting that one, you did good. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the platform Miss Linda Coleman Willis. Linda, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, D-Nice.
Yes, it was good.
Yes.
It was good going with you this morning and being able to see the other half that kept you focused for the last 20 years. No, let me put it this way. Let's tell the truth. You kept focused for the last 25 years. See, he's a techie.
He's a techie.
He's a techie, and I love him. He's a techie, though. You can talk about technology for years. And so it's good to find something that can keep our mind occupied. Let alone for that long, Linda.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what's been going on with you this week?
Oh, it's been a busy week. Every week is a busy week. And the topic is right on time, because we're going to be talking about living a balanced life.
Yeah.
And I try to practice what I preach, okay? And so I would say to those of you who are out there who are feeling overwhelmed, and I know we do get overwhelmed because we're working and we have families, and like you said, I'm a wife, a mother, a grandmother. I'm a professional. I run my own business, and I do a lot of coaching, consulting, and training. So how do I keep it all together? I believe in strategic planning, and I believe in strategic thinking. And when I say strategic thinking, I think about everything that I have to do before I do it, and then I plan it out. Now, I know a lot of people say they like to do it a little impromptu. And I think we're going to have the doctor talking about stress.
Yeah.
Because some people like chaos.
Yeah.
I am not a person that like chaos and confusion. So I do, and what I do with a lot of my business clients is I teach them about strategic thinking and strategic planning and strategic action.
Yeah.
Because if you're leaving it up to chance, any little thing that happens can throw you off your game, and we're always playing catch up. So I'm really excited that we're talking about living a balanced life tonight, and I'm eager to hear what some of the other young ladies here, and you, Dee, and maybe
Dr.
some
Maxey.
of you call in, Dr. Maxey,
Yeah, he's on the phone,
has
sir.
to say about
Yeah.
it, because it is not easy to maintain over a period of time, but it is well worth working toward. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Maxey, you can hear in the background that we got some ladies that really going to need your expertise in a minute. So let me go down and finish up introducing everybody, then I'm get to Dr. Maxey, who's on the phone and waiting patiently to give us his wisdom. Okay, coming
Really
to
quickly, can I put out there the vibration of celebration for Miss Linda for 25 years?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry, Von True here. I just had to do that.
Okay, Ms. Von True, go ahead and you know what? This lady, give us a smile as I tell you who she is. This young lady we met a few months ago, and she came into the studio to do a show with Linda on her television show she does about the millennials and bridging the gap of the communications. And this young lady must have really influenced her, because she's like, Dee, I got one for you. I got a good one this time. And so that was the first chance I got to meet Miss Von True. And as her name says, True, she brings true to it, because when I talked to her and I watched her on stage, there was so much maturity for such a young lady. And so the balance and everything in her life made me be intrigued. And I said, okay, you know what? Let's take this to another level. We need to see you on the air. And, she graciously joined us on the air, and she's been sitting with us for a minute, and she's growing steadily by the week. So this young lady is a recording artist. She's a model. She is a fashion designer, and she's graduated from fashion design school. She put a lot of years in there to get to that point. She used to work in the fashion industry until she decided to leave the East Coast, the cold, the madness, and brave new lands out here in LA as a recording artist. And now she's a signed recording artist, and she's bringing her wisdom and her music and her charm to the Gospel Jazz Nation. Here with us today is Von True.
Von True.
Hi.
Hey.
Thank you so much. Such a beautiful intro. Thank you.
Well, thank
I'm
you.
excited for the topic today.
Mm-hmm.
How to live a balanced life. Which should
Wow.
be very interesting. I'm a Libra, so I'm all about balance.
Okay,
so,
I got you.
Yeah.
You said your middle name is Balance, right?
We try.
I know.
We try.
Hey, I know. See, sometimes you got to have something that works for you. That's really just works for you,
Absolutely.
and that's going to be something that works for you. So we love it. We look forward to it. Now, this young lady that we're getting ready to go to right now. Whew, you know what? This young lady, I met her a couple years back, and one of her straight out mentors, one of her girls, her partners, her ride or die partners, came in and did the show too with Makita on the television show. And she was doing an opening of her shop, her boutique that is in Long Beach, in the Strong Beach area.
Bougie girls.
The bougie girls, shout out to them. And I got a chance to see this young lady come through, and when I saw her, it was like something about her was like, okay, she just stood out and just lit it up. And so I had a chance to talk to her and find out a little about what she did. She doesn't talk too much. She does a lot more listening and just looking through you. Man, she got some, these military guys know what I'm talking about. She got that million mile stare. You know what I'm saying? You're like, what is she looking at? You look around, look at your pocket, look in the mirror to see what it is. But she reading that soul. She's trying to see what's up in that spirit. So this young lady here, she's an author several times over. She's a motivational speaker. She is a independent producer for television programs. She has just got back from D.C. from a very eclectic union of gathered people there at the White House and their rounds, that D.C. area, the muckety mucks in journalism. And she was one of them that was able to pull it to the top and make it as one of the honored people there in a journalistic scenario this year, representing her skills as a producer, as a host, and we can salute her as a woman of God, as a wife, as a mother of 3. So she's doing the thing, you know what I'm saying? And she, like I said, is just continually growing in grace and just constantly moving up and moving out into different little endeavors that God has put on her heart. And she's going to talk to us about some of them today as we welcome to the microphone Miss Germany Grant. Germany. Yep. Thanks for being here. So we got a lot to talk about. And then we have on the phone here, we have my good friend that I've known for, oh my goodness. He was reminding me today. Because he said, how long have I known you? I had to go back and think because it was been so long he's been with me. He's my buddy. We just had a grand opening at his shop. We'll call it a laboratory because he's got a true laboratory. He's got a 2-story gorgeous building in Inglewood. The mayor came down and did the ribbon cutting and named him the 9th wonder of the world. Wow. Yes, he's been practicing medicine. He was in charge of the medical association for years. He had his own practice for years. You know what, ladies? At one time he snuck out. He retired. But you know what? That didn't last too long. He got to sitting back for a moment, decided, nah, that's not for me. And I'm glad he came back. Now he's working in the stem cell research and development and all the things. And he's got doctors that were there lined up around the block to talk about what he does and how they were influenced by him, and they're coming on board to work with him, and he's just got it all going on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome my friend and soon to be yours, Dr. Randall Maxey. Right. Doc, what you doing, man?
Balanced life, everything from eating to living, you need it spiritually and psychologically. And looking at the way that we treat the patients who entrust their lives to our care, we stress balance. And I didn't mean the word stress as in distress, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But stress, as one of the ladies mentioned, is probably, if there's a root of most evil, it is stress. Because stress does cause inflammation in many parts of the body. And it accounts for the morbidity and increased mortality that happens in certain ethnic groups, mainly the ones that I belong to. And a recent author even called it a post-traumatic slavery syndrome. And I subscribe to that. And that raises your blood pressure, affects the endothelium of your blood vessels, affects your heart, your kidneys, and your brain. And it also affects our good sense, or lack thereof. And from that, many physical, spiritual, and mental ailments come. So I see I'm in good company. I'm happy and learning from listening to what I'm hearing from your other guests.
Yeah, well, you should see the eyes of the place in here. It's very good that you're able to talk about it because, like I said, talk about stress and some of the things that you go through on a day-to-day basis. I mean, I was there with you earlier, and we've known each other going way back, and little did I know the effect of what a daily regimen of being on the grind can do, and what it takes out of you, both physically, mentally, and spiritually, is just tremendous to try to live a life and balance everything out and still remember to put yourself somewhere in that, equation. And because I have a tendency to support everybody around me more so than I support myself, I'm like, okay, I'll get to me later. But, that place across from us, Forest Lawn, the graveyard, man, is full of people that had good intentions on getting to themselves later. So thank you for coming on and talking about these things called stress. These things called stress, because there's a lot of things that happen in our day-to-day life that causes it. Now, a lot of people don't understand how stress can go beyond a mental thing, Doc, into, like you're talking about, the cardiovascular and some of the other oracles of our inner that are affected by stress. If you can just talk about a little of those two that are affected.
Yes. Well, stress from a cardiovascular standpoint affects one of the largest organs in the body called the endothelium. The endothelium is the layer of cells that lines the inside of every blood vessel in your body. If you were to lay those cells, that tissue end to end, it would cover more than 6 tennis courts for every person. So that's a very large organ. And that layer of cells is what we call vasoactive. It responds to things that make it contract or dilate. There's some hormones in the body that make it contract. One of them is called epinephrine. Some people call it adrenaline. There's norepinephrine, acetylcholine, and then there are things called endorphins that are in the brain. Your stress or your reaction to life situations and where you find yourself can cause that to contract. What happens when you put your finger over a hose, squirting water, it will make it go further. It will raise your blood pressure. When you raise your blood pressure, it can burst, it can cause a stroke, it can cause a heart attack, it can affect every other organ in your body. Now, if you get up in the morning like I do and drink coffee, which I shouldn't do, that contracts that. If you smoke a cigarette, that contracts those same things. If you react to your spouse or significant other, that can cause that to contract. How you see yourself, your self-perspective, your self-image, can affect that. So everything you do affects your blood pressure, affects your endothelium, affects your psychological outlets, and that can be stress. Now, some people say, I'm not stressed, but you can't always detect stress. It's not something that you can feel, just like most people cannot feel their blood pressure. So it's there, and it's underlined. So we need to do those things that allow you to relax. One of them is endorphins. And endorphins come out and they provide a soothing effect, especially when you do physical exercise, cardio exercise, when you walk, when you sing, when you hum. So, and when you have good relationships. So those things are very important for living a balanced life. Now, they always tell people they should eat leafy green vegetables. Now, I grew up in a time where I didn't know what a green salad was until I was over 25 years old. But those leafy green vegetables, whether it be spinach, arugula, kale, they have something that's called nitric oxide. That nitric oxide will cause your blood vessels to dilate more easy. Some people get it from fermented beet juice and other things like that. It's very important to do that. So eating right, eating a balanced diet will help you not stress. So it'll help your mentation. It will cause dilatation of your blood vessels. That's very important. So I tell people when you think you're relaxing with the cigarette and nicotine, you're fooling yourself. So I believe that this is very important. Now, here's something that may be controversial to some of our, I'll call them neo-Christians, who don't like what's going on with what's called cannabis. Cannabis, most people think about THC, which will get you high as pot, but there's cannabis that is cannabidiol, which doesn't have a neurologic effect in terms of being high, but it will cause blood vessel dilatation. It will lower blood pressure. It will affect stress by lowering inflammation. So I believe that is going to come on the scene more and more, not as something you smoke, which is bad, whether it's weed or whether it's nicotine, but when you can use it for pain control, when you can use it for relaxation, blood vessel dilatation, and anti-infection things, it can be something that will be very good, but many of our people don't understand. They think it's just bad because I don't know whether the Republicans label it that or the politicians or the big pharma, but it can have a very salutary or good effect on many patients and get our community off of this narco and hydrocodone and all these drugs that are killing us. So I hope I didn't go on a tangent, but that's part of living a balanced life, watching what you put in your body and what is healthy and what is not healthy. I hope I didn't talk too long.
No, I love it. I'm going to throw it over to the ladies. Ladies, feel free, this is Dr. Maxey, to talk about any questions you may have that we talked a little about stress. Germany's, what would you say in your life would be that you could get a handle on that Doc can answer for you, since we got him on the phone?
Just in listening to a lot of, and thank you for the information that you've shared. I think that is very informative. And certainly with some of the things that we should not be doing that we may engage in, such as smoking or, drinking coffee or whatever those things may be that are small addictions. But one of the most important things, I think that's certainly a big thing, especially for minority women, is exercise. And I think that's one of the key factors that maybe we don't get enough of it in, perhaps running into the grocery store and basically pushing our limits on some things, maybe when it comes to those arguments with the spouse or with your significant other. But other than, pushing the cart and pushing our limits and running in, doing those errands, I can't say that we get, I don't get enough of the exercise that's probably recommended by a doctor. So is there some type of exercise that you could recommend that would be something that maybe you could do that would be less vigorous than going to a gym per se?
Well, one of the best exercises is just plain walking. But now, and I say this about my wife, walking is not walking in a mall.
That's what they do. See, that's what they do. That's all they know.
Walking in and out of the store.
We're doing two things at one time. So we're creating balance.
Without your credit card or mine, that's good, and that'll release endorphins, that'll cause de-stress, that'll cause relaxation, lowering your blood pressure, and it'll be less expensive. Leave that credit card at home. But it's also cardio, and it's better than running, because running, you're banging your knee joints and ankle joints, but just walking with a good, comfortable pair of shoes, good conversation, it's relaxation that builds relationships, and that's totally healthy. But I stress leave the credit card home.
Less press for the guys, right? Yes. Ms. Bontrue, you're a young lady that is young, and you can hold up them all-nighters now. What kind of question might you have for the
I was
doctor?
just really curious from the health aspect. Thank you for all of your knowledge that you just spread upon us. I was curious, you said leafy greens would be helpful, but what other foods do you find that would be helpful to alleviate us from stress?
Can you repeat that again, Mr. Nice? I
Yes.
couldn't hear.
Yes, I just said what other foods, you mentioned leafy greens, but what other foods do you find may alleviate us from stress?
I mentioned leafy green vegetables such as arugula was one, spinach was another, and kale is one. And I mentioned those because those have the highest concentrations of nitric oxide. Now, there are other things that do that, and fermented beet, for example, has a lot of that. There are a number of things that you can go on and even ask Siri or go to the internet and pick up high nitric oxide content foods, and those would be listed among them. And what I like about that, not to get too far off of the deep end, but there's something called L-arginine, and L-arginine converts to nitric oxide. That allows these blood vessels to dilate. But what's good about these leafy green vegetables is that you don't have to convert it with an enzyme. The nitric oxide is there and it's inorganic. And about one fistful of any of those green vegetables will give you about 5 grams of the nitric oxide. Now, if you were to eat 5 servings of that a day, that would have a very good effect upon your life, your blood pressure, and even your outlook. Combine that with appropriate fruits and exercise, and you have something. I do add the caution about fruit juice. Fruit juice is mostly sugar, and it will drive your sugar up. So if you're going to have fruits, it's better to eat the fruit so you have a relaxed, gentle release of sugar and not the spikes that happen when you drink fruit juice.
Yeah, we don't realize when it
really
says...
good to taste. It's better to eat the fruit that has the fiber and controls how the sugar gets released to you.
Absolutely. We don't realize the fruit juice container says cocktail, and which means sugar. So we have to realize those things. Thank you so much.
I have one question.
Linda, go ahead.
When it comes to vegetables, is there a difference between frozen and fresh? Is there a problem with frozen when they're frozen in their natural state?
Well, nothing beats fresh. If I understand your question,
Okay, because
between frozen and fresh.
Right, and well, sometimes they use pesticides with the fresh, and then sometimes you buy frozen, and it says, and I don't know if it is, but it says no pesticides. So I was just wondering, in some of the health food stores.
Well, so you want to buy organic, that's for sure.
Okay, organic.
And you want to have some kind of certification that's really organic and not just a label. And organic implies that it has been grown in a situation where they don't have to use pesticides. And it implies that they're not using hormones to get larger growth of the plant. And so that's very important. Also, you don't want preservatives. And if possible, you don't want frozen, because what happens when you freeze something, you lose much of the nutrition content of that. Now, I'm sure they're coming out with cryo-frozen things, which are fast frozen, which may not lose as much, but I'm not an expert on that. But if you can have fresh and organic, where you preserve the majority of the vitamins and the nutrients, that's always better than artificially preserving them.
Okay.
And, a lot of things are preserved with salt. They're preserved with nitrites, which are cancer-causing. So if you can have something that's fresh off the vine, so to speak, that's always better. And if you ever been on the farm and had something like even corn on the cob just picked off, it's a totally different taste than you get at a grocery store. Totally different.
Thank you.
Well, Doc, you know what? You got some happy ladies' faces over here. If you could see them now, you would be, you would be like, I got it. But you have witnessed the growth factor as you have embodied us with knowledge on what to do and how to do it. So we appreciate you. Like I said, now that we've got you back in the saddle, man, our house is your house, and we just look forward for you just being able to pick up the phone anytime you want to, man. And we're here every Friday, same time, same station, and peppering us with a lot of stuff. And we're going to be doing some work together, me and you, because we're going to be putting some little food for thought minuets to people to where they can get them and go online and find different ways of doing stuff. So we got a lot of work to do, Doc.
So thank you for having me, and nice meeting you young ladies on the phone and the radio. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being there, Doc. We look forward to seeing you again real soon, all right?
All right, bye-bye.
Have a nice weekend. God bless. Ladies, so now, okay, here we go, ladies. So we had a chance to get it from the doctor's mouth, from the doctor's part of it. But let's go back to a mainstay. I mean, that's one part we overlook, okay, because we're so busy in our lives trying to help everybody else and push everybody else's agenda that we have left ourselves behind, so we know how to basically pick up the slack on the food, right? Now, let's go back and look into the balanced living aspect of it, from work, from child raising, from executive others, spouses, and stuff like that. Let's get into a little meat now on something like that. You already told us what a balanced life looked like in your definition. Ron, let's get to you and find out. I mean, because you're young and you just started life, so I don't know what you can tell us about a balanced life right now, but it seems like you got a grip. So what does that look like to you?
They used to say it's still wet behind my ears. Which
I didn't want to say that,
really
but
funny.
hey.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not that young.
Okay.
But while we're getting stressed out and living our busy lives, it's very important to remember you're not here for the world. The world is here for you.
Okay.
If you don't remember anything else, please remember that. Because you have to take the time out for yourself. And really, like, one of the methods that I use is meditation. Not everyone meditates, but it's just really good to take a step back from everything when you feel like you're getting your mind is getting oversaturated with too many thoughts that have nothing to do with you and everything to do with everybody else and everything else you have going on. Just take a moment of silence and just really try to tune out everything else and come within and really realize, what do you need to do to live a healthier lifestyle? As Ms. Linda said, also strategically planning is humongous. It will alleviate you of so much stress. I learned that the hard way, I have to say. Right. But that would definitely help as well. And I just honestly, everyone's not a tree hugger, but I would just say, go ahead and take a few seconds to yourself without anyone else interrupting, without anything else interrupting, for sure. I think it definitely helps with you keeping the blood pressure down and staying in tune with yourself and the universal energies.
Well, they say nothing new under the sun, right? And that vernacular you just talked about, a tree hugger, that was like the curtain call back in the 70s. Remember in the Peace, Love, and Power Child, they were hugging
meditation,
right, hugging trees and whatever. And so, I mean, for you to be young and be able to bring that up,
yeah, Wonder song about it.
Yeah, hugging a tree. That would be very good. I mean, people should start doing that. We ought to just go out there and plant some trees and put some name tags across it. Just like I said, just have a set apart area that people can go and get their frustrations and hug a tree.
Yeah, that would be beautiful in the community. Yeah. I mean, like, some people may think you're crazy, but at the same time, that's them coming in with their perspective, and you just need to alleviate what's inside of you. Right. And we don't always take that into consideration.
I'm going to take that to my city council.
Keep in mind what you said about meditation.
Right.
If you don't have a tree that you can visual tree, then it's all imagery in your own mind. It's spiritual. And I know you're going to hit on the spiritual part.
Right. Yeah.
I know you are.
They just called you.
They're calling you out.
They just called you onto the platform, so come on at the mic, stepping to the mic.
It's just essential to be true to you.
Okay,
At the end of the day, whatever it takes for you to have inner peace, that's what you have to do. And if you have to go to your source, whoever that is, for me it's God, to make sure that you get all of the elements that will allow you to just have total peace and serenity. That is the key to having a balanced life, because if you are upset about one thing in one realm, it's going to carry over to other realms of your life. And so you have to make sure that you are walking in purpose. And I say that all the time, because if you like what you do, or I'm gonna go a little further. If you love what you do and you do what you love, then you will have a balanced life, because work then is not work.
Right.
It's just living your best life at the end of the day.
Right. Okay, yeah, because I can attest to that one. Because, like I say, you know, being a single man, I don't have to look after anybody. But I'd say that. But there's my daughter and there's my grandson, and she's doing her own thing, and he's doing his own thing at 10. But that's still my life. I just look into that one as my inner sanctum. You know, when I have to sit back and say, okay, what is it? Because other than that, I only have to look out for myself. And so by looking at that every once in a while, I'll call her. Just say, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? And I know she's like, is everything okay? Is everything okay? Yeah, I don't have to call you when something's going on or just there's drama in your life. I just want to see how you doing. How's little man doing? You know, that's what I'm saying. So we all find that gift somewhere that we can just hang our head on and say, this is my escape place. This is my escape plan. This is somewhere I can go and get some kind of sanctity. But I also pray just as fervently that God protects them. Because if something happened to them, I can't imagine what would happen to my life, because that's all I have to worry about in my life. When I wake up, it's all about me and doing what I need to do throughout the day. And if I eat, if I don't eat, if I have money, if I don't have, no matter what, all I got to do is get down for me. But when I have somebody that I'm thinking about that's there, then you always have to. But like I said, tell her, I done got my insurance and I got to be quiet sometimes, because sometimes some of these bad kids will kill you for the insurance policy. You know what I'm saying? And so when I told my daughter, I just finally told her, I said, hey, you got $1 million policy on me. And so she just looked at me and she said, why? And so I was cool. I was like, I didn't want to go into explanation. If you're going to say why instead of like, you know what I'm saying, salivating, we good. Okay? You know, but the why has to come with, yeah, if something happens, I don't want her panicking. I want her to just be able to, and I tell them, hey, like I was telling Vaughn earlier, you know what I'm saying, they got that place around the corner there that got mailboxes too. I don't want to be in the ground. Just put me in there, just do it with me. Put me in a little box and put me in a little mailbox in the wall. You know what I'm saying? That you can come and you ain't even got to spend no time. Just give me a high five and keep on pushing. See, I don't want to be a burden on anybody here and a burden afterwards. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I get through the night. See, that's how I make it.
Planning.
But people but people that have to plan, because Linda, you know what I'm saying, you got the grandkids, you got the super grandkids, you got the husband, you know what I'm saying, and you know, Jimmy, you have the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, Vaughn, you've escaped it so far. Thank God, and passed the biscuits. But I'm saying, so you ladies know what I'm talking about. You've got to think for everybody else. But let's talk about that for a second, because it's got to be strenuous on you to have to think about all. You got to think for everybody, even the spouses. Come on, let's quit playing. There are times you got to be there. You talk about the better half. You know what I'm saying? I'm advocating, guys. Listen, okay? If you want a happy life, have a happy wife or a happy partner. Yeah, okay. They are the better half. So, Linda, let's go and see what you say about that.
I have rearranged my life a little differently.
Okay.
Because maybe it's because I raised my daughters as a single mom for a long time. I've been married to this man for 25 years. We don't have any children together. Okay. So I raised my two girls. No, I don't take on their responsibilities, because that would be stress. I have raised them. I've given them my best. And, yeah, I might have an insurance policy hanging out there, but I expect them to perform their own lives and enter into my life and not bring a lot of drama. But I don't intervene in their lives.
Right.
But if they come to me for advice or support, I love them. But I, a long time ago, stopped taking on the responsibilities that they should be taking on.
Right.
I raised them to be independent, and that's what I want them to be. Now, the little ones are a little different. But this is the one thing I want to say that I do in my trainings, and it works for me. I don't know if it works for everyone, but I was taught a long time ago to take everything that you have to do and put a number on it, 1 through whatever it is. and start your day doing ones. If one should be the most important thing that you have to do, because we don't have to do everything every day all the time, especially for everyone else. We don't have to do it all day. When my daughters come into my mind, or whoever, my family, I pray for them. I love to have them around, but if they bring a lot of stuff, I'm like, I love you, bye.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, okay. So put a number on them.
Okay.
And then if you get the ones done, if that's the most important, and the 2 and the 3s, you can move the 10s over to somewhere else. It's not the most important thing. Every single day, you're getting the most important thing that you say. And if you change that around, today, maybe the kids are the number one thing. Maybe I am going to have lunch with my daughters or my husband or whatever. That's number one. And then the ones. Start your day doing the ones. And then move to all the other stuff. And you can juggle the other stuff. But if you all confused, some of your ones are going to end up at the bottom.
Right.
And then you're going to have some problems in your life.
Right.
You're ignoring your spouse, or you're ignoring yourself, or you're not doing some of the things that you need to do to take care of your business, or so give the ones the priority and make those ones important to you or whatever it is that you're doing. And when I say ones, it could be 1 through 5. Every day I'm gonna make sure the 1 through 5s get done, and then the 6 through 10s I can juggle around. If I don't get to them today, or sometimes the 6 may move up to the 1 because it has to be done.
Right.
But I'm not stressed because I know I can move it here, and I'm going to do it today. So that's just something I learned a long time ago that's helped me to eliminate everyday stressing about all the things I've got to do, and I've got to do it all.
Right.
Okay, so just a little tip, if it helps.
No, it sounds good because, like I said, I tell people, how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
And I done ate many an elephant in my life.
One bite.
You know what I'm
try to
saying?
eat the whole thing, you'll choke.
That's what I'm saying. Or get overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? It's funny, I went to years ago, I was playing with a farm team. It's a semi-pro football team, and we were the Raiders semi-pro. And a lot of times when guys want to go to the pros, they go back, and just like the baseball, have the minor league camps go up and stuff like that. So I was really into the football and really doing it and hanging out with these guys. And I mean, these guys were like, you know what I'm saying, they breakfast, lunch, and dinner, they could sit back there and eat a whole restaurant. I never ate like that, but I could eat. But they took me to this restaurant in the marina, and it was called Outlaw Burger, right? And what Outlaw Burger, okay, good. So we went up there, and what shocked me is when I saw the burgers coming to the table, and suddenly my appetite was kind of like gone, because these burgers look like, I'm looking around looking for the Jolly Green Giant. Because the buns are specially made, and the buns got to be the size of a plate, 8 to 10 inch plate. That's the size of the buns. And the hamburgers they choose, when you look at the list of menu, it's 5-pound burgers and up. 5-pound burger, okay? And the buns fit that 5-pound burger. And so when they brought it to the table, so I'm like, okay, let me just get a 5-pounder. Because, when I got the burger at the table, and everybody's just digging in, I'm like, dude, what am I supposed to do this? So I asked the dude, I said, can I have a knife and a fork? And I started cutting it in sections or whatever. And they looked at me like I lost my mind. So I said, dude, I'm not going to try to eat this burger any other way, man, because I'm not going to finish this here. In a couple of bites into it like that, I was finished. You know what I'm saying? But that's how some people eat. And then they can live. They can be okay with that. I can't do that. So it's called knowing your limitations. So that was a good lesson to me at that time. Know my limitations. When they're in the gym and they're pumping everything there is and looking for some more weight, sit on each side of the bar and they've got like 7 plates on there, almost like 600-700 pounds, and they're pushing out the. Okay, that's all good and well. But what are you going to do with that? You going to go out when you finish there and lift up cars and whatever? I've seen them a couple of times. We've been at Venice Beach working out, and somebody just kind of got mad with somebody else, and they go pick up the Volkswagen and move it out of the slot. And whatever. You guys do that if you want to. That ain't where I'm trying to get to. I'm not trying to lose my extremities trying to, you know what I'm saying, just do that kind of stuff. And then come to find out some of them went to the steroids and some of them went to this one because they wanted to go to higher heights and muscle magazines and all that. That's all good for them. But I'm telling you, you got to know your limitations. Because whatever you choose to do in life, your lifestyle, the way you walk, the way you talk, what you do, everything is going to reflect back at you sooner or later. If you live a life that's 24 hours a day partying, whatever, you've been out there, you've seen those ladies. You seen the same people you saw from high school, and they look like, you know what I'm saying, they're in post, you know what I'm saying, adolescent, post, what they call that when you go to old folks home. They look old, and you go to with school class reunions, and you be sit there and you be like, dog, wasn't that so-and-so captain of the football team? He looks 5 years older than your grandparents. You've seen it. Or young ladies that were the head cheerleaders and whatever, and they're looking like, might have gained 5,000 pounds or whatever, make you look kind of good. Then you be like, oh, okay. So it's the lifestyle we choose that's going to either compliment us later in life or it's going to denigrate us. So you're in a good stead. You're young and you still got a long way to go. You know what I'm saying? And you got examples around you on what to do and what not to do. You had a doctor telling you what to do and what not to do. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the choice is yours.
Yes.
But you can see that, you know what I'm saying, the choices we make in our lifestyles, they brand us. They ride with us. No matter what we do, who we do, or where we go. Something from that experience is going to become a part of us. So that's why you've got to, from the growth mentally, you've got to hang with eagles if you're an eagle. If you're a buzzard, you don't care. You're just trying to get on anything that's dead. Because you don't have to have no hunt. Nothing to picking up something as a scavenger. But when you're an eagle, you flying so high, if something gets in your way or something's messing with you, you can just fly above it. And then you got to have the eyes sharp enough to see way down there. So when you go down for your prey, you've already figured it all out, because the trajectory of coming from such a high altitude to see that fish that you were looking at and go and get him before he goes to the other side of the lake, that's a skill and a gift. And when we see eagles on National Geographic do it time and time again, you know what I'm saying? There's something to it. So everything about a balanced life says something about you and your innermost being. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
So speaking from we talked about the physical, we talked about the metaphysical, we talked a little about the spiritual, okay? But let's talk a little bit about the mental. What kind of mental baggage can be picked up with bad habits? Let's call them bad habits for lack of anything else, but it's still lifestyle changes, right? So what kind of bad habits can you be? Doesn't the Bible say evil communication corrupts good manners? That's what it says. So can you give me a time when, sometime in your life when you might have bought into something instead of being that one that says I stand by what I'm believing in, and you kind of like let somebody else influence you and it came out on the bad end? Who wants to start off first? Give me a good example. Give me an example. Only one if you need to. Some of us might have about 50 or 60 of them, but we're looking for one. To where you let somebody else influence your thought pattern and it got you in trouble. Don't all answer at once. I see your mouth open. You like, go ahead. Go ahead, Vaughn.
There's two major examples that I'm kind of thinking about, but I'm going to speak on the one that's not me, okay? So it's great that you mentioned standards and boundaries. It is huge, right? So a friend a while ago, I'd known her since like kindergarten. We grew up together, and probably until I was like went off to college. So I come back from college. We're still friends. She goes out to, she has this new job, and she kind of likes somebody who she works with at this job. And she's like, oh, well, I think I want to go out with him and, spend some time with him. And I'm just like, okay, that's cool. So then a couple weeks later, she had called me, and she was like, oh, should I do this and that? Because, it sounds like a cool party to go to, and I kind of really want to go, and, he's going to be there, and I really like him, and whatever. And I'm just like, well, that doesn't sound like a good situation. It doesn't sound like a good scenery. I don't think you should do it. But at the end of the day, you're going to do what you want to do anyway. So unfortunately, she comes back calling me about a week later, coming from a doctor's office with something that's uncurable. So just knowing your standards about it. You called me and you asked for confirmation because you knew it was wrong at the end of the day, and you still went out there to do it. And you know I'm your good angel or your good shoulder to tell you no, don't do it, and you still went out there and did it anyways.
Right.
So I mean, she knew her standards, she knew her boundaries, she just didn't follow up with it, which was, very unfortunate. I love her to death. I was still there to comfort her in her time of need, but at the same time, we got to stand up for our own well-being and not be in the space of everybody else.
Yeah, no, you're so right. You got to be Linda, Germany. When do you want to chime in with something? Can't come up with an example right now. That's what you want to talk about.
I've been a pretty independent thinker for the most part.
Well, even somebody that you saw that you've maybe mentored or whatever that just took a wrong turn and just.
There's plenty of examples with that, but the thing about it is, at the end of the day, it's kind of sort of like what Vaughn just expressed. In those moments, people have to be wise enough, and they have to really have insight or some type of connection with the higher authority that they have enough confidence and willpower to say, this is wrong. I'm not going to engage in this. I'm not going to go down this road. It's the very reason why God removed me from where I was, put me somewhere else, and then brought me back full circle.
Right.
And some of those individuals are probably not listening to this show. And so there are some people that don't even know that I'm back in Los Angeles because God had to remove me from individuals who did not have the willpower to say no to sleeping with other people's spouses or doing drugs or whatever the thing is that they know that they should not have been doing, but it's okay because we're in a party and it's an intimate setting and nobody knows unless the people that are here reveal it. Like nobody outside of this room is going to say that we went to the back room. No, that's wrong. I'm seeing it. I don't think that it's good. And then to see you with your spouse later and everything is fine, that they don't even know, because that puts me in an uncomfortable position where then I'm hiding your secrets. And so I don't want to be caught up in a situation where I feel uncomfortable when I'm around you. And I think when you talk about balance and living a balanced life, I think it really needs to be consistent throughout. Don't be someone else behind closed doors and then be someone else out in the front, or at this party you have this type of character and integrity, but then on this side you're someone totally different. Be who you are all the time, and it really, really is easy when you start to just be at peace and have that oneness with yourself and of what you're comfortable with, and taking a stand saying, I don't feel comfortable with this. It's not who I am. I'm going to walk away from it. And if you don't have the willpower to walk away from it, pray and ask God, and He'll remove you from that situation. He'll give you the strength to walk away.
That's called being honest with yourself. Because the bottom line, you got to be honest with yourself. Go ahead, Linda.
Oh no, I was going to say, I think it was the question you phrased, because I'm with her. I have made mistakes, but no one can lead me. I'm responsible. So I figure it's the choices I've made or the actions I've taken, I took, so I have to take responsibility for it. If it worked, I would get credit. If it didn't work, I take responsibility. So I haven't, that's why I couldn't come up with something where someone led me to something that whatever, because that's just how I think. I don't know where that came from, probably my dad. But if I walked out of here today and did something, I can't come back and blame you, even if you suggested it. If I took the steps and I go do it, how can I come back and blame you? I took that action.
Exactly.
So I can't think of something that, and again, I'm not saying I'm perfect or that I've never made mistakes.
I got you.
But I can't think of an instance where someone told me to do something stupid and I did it.
No, this is,
just didn't work for me.
No, that's you know, I wouldn't expect you to say so if you did anyway. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm telling
Yeah.
you that I've made mistakes,
Right.
but
But
it's
yeah.
not because someone sent me out
Right.
there to do it.
That's
It's
because
because I
you're-
made a decision to
right.
do something and it didn't work.
Right,
So
exactly.
who do I look at?
You.
Me.
Yep. First
Right.
time.
So right.
First time God helped me. Next time God help you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah. And then it's the third time you do it, God definitely help you because it's all on you.
Right,
Allowing it
right.
to happen.
And I can tell you plenty of opportunity. When I was working my way through college, I worked in a bar
Right.
as a waitress,
Okay.
as a bartender, because I had to work at night.
Right.
I had plenty of opportunity to do all kinds of stuff.
Right.
And I saw people do all kinds of stuff.
Well.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
but I chose not to do it.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
a freedom of
I
choice.
that
I
was-
love
I
it.
chose
You
not to
got
do
it.
it.
You just got to live
I
that.
could have chosen to do it.
Yeah,
but I
and then
chose
you would
not
been.
to do
Yeah.
it.
Then
So
we
people
just.
have to stop blaming all the time
Yeah.
and take responsibility. If you choose to do it,
Right.
then the consequences belong to you.
That's no good.
Right.
No good at all.
Right.
Okay. I know time flies. We're having fun, so we're gonna go around and we're gonna give what you call the final thoughts, or you can just give your email address or how somebody can catch up with you so that they can follow you. Go ahead, Mantru.
I just want to say really quickly, another method that really helps me is realizing that whatever energy I put out into the universe, I'm getting it right back. So if I have stress, I'm so stressed and whatever, I'm putting it out there, so I'm getting it right back. So I always, at 8 a.m., 12, 4, and 8, I have energy checks on my phone. So I kind of have a timer that kind of goes off and plays kind of funky music. So I kind of come in my realization, all right, I need to loosen up right now. You know, that definitely helps me throughout my days, especially to have good energy and not be stressed. But you can check me out on Instagram, Facebook, von.true, vontrue.com. I'm out here. Thank you.
Good. Okay, Miss Germany.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Last words. Do what you love and love what you do. And that is the key to having a balanced life. And I wish all of you peace, love, and prosperity. If you want to get in touch with me, the best way is via email. And you can do so by shooting that over to Book Kent. That's what it is. Book Kent. I forgot my email address. I have several, but the one that I'll check is Book Kent, which is BOOKKENT @germanymail.com.
Love it. Thank you very much for your segregating the madness and bringing in those things that are relative in such a short time. Ms. Linda Copeland-Willis, go ahead.
I'm just going to repeat that the choices we make and the actions we take belongs to us. So make sure that you are making good decisions. And you can reach me, especially if you need a coach to help you get through some of this, is Linda, Linda Speaks, SPEAKS @AOL.com.
Well, ladies, I appreciate once again you coming to the forefront over at Gospel Jazz Connection and bringing us some good information on how to live a balanced life. Dr. Maxey, thank you for being a part of hearing more from you later on. For Ms. M, thank you for always supporting the way you do. From Lady D, we want you to get well so that you can be a part of what we do. Makita, thanks for everything, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. And ladies and gentlemen, we just give you a panel of experts that bring in what their way of living is, match with their experiences, match with their wisdom on how they make it through from point A to point B in a daily, weekly, and yearly basis. And so now it's time for you to put this in your own style and interpretation and break off what works for you. Not everything is for everybody, and not everybody's for you. Find out what it is for you and focus on that. And like I say, each and every week, if you put God first, everything else will follow. Until next time, God bless you. We will see you real soon.